Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to say welcome again to another edition of the program, The Bottom Line. We sincerely apologize due to some engagements. We could not uh, come on time, but like they say, it's better late than never. So we're here, and yeah, we just 15, 16 minutes late, and don't hold me responsible for this saying that Liberian people don't know time with no time. But sometimes when you get stuck, it's just that difficult, um, to beat the time. That's it. But I think it's better late than never, like I said, and we are here, and we hope to do the best we can for you. And so, Paul, how are you doing today?
Uh, well, thanks, Lefa. I'm good, and you? How's
Yeah,
your
not
end?
bad. I know you would like to join me to apologize to our viewers, and it's never too late. But um, what has been happening of late from your end? Any development?
Well, there's nothing much. It's just the weather, the rain, and then the situation in Ukraine, which have now taken over the news. You wake up Ukraine, you sleep in Ukraine, you go to work Ukraine. So that's the only thing here. That's the most talk about how the British government is kind of delaying getting refugees from that end. So
Uh,
that's what's happening here.
okay, but like you said, that's a training issue now, and nothing we can do about it. This is it, and we hope those responsible, the authorities, I mean, not responsible per se, but the authorities that can do something, would be able to do something about it because it's frustrating and what should I say? It's hard to handle. It's beyond our normal activities. Those of us, the ordinary people. So that's it. But like we said, we here and we hope to just do the best for our people. So if you just joining us again, we say welcome. This is the bottom line, and hopefully we may be having our other partners to get on board with us. But if not, I think Paul and I can carry through. And politically, Paul, what have you heard from Liberia in recent time?
Liberia, there's always issue in Liberia. Day and night, there's issue politically.
Mm-hmm,
But I know something I think we need to look at is
mm-hmm.
the government now seems to go behind Edwin Snow.
Oh,
And yeah, Carlos Gray is been the one now that have been he put forward some recommendation of Edwin Snow not being he should not be the one now to be in ECOWAS representing Liberia because he's seen that the seat is vacant and so they wrote the ECOWAS parliament. So it's something and we know when Carlos Gray starts something in Liberia, that means it had been planned by the elite when the same thing they did with Kamina Jane was no. So it's something that people have to look at carefully. It's going to be Snow have been a very good friend to the president. They've been traveling up and down. Why Snow is Snow having a presidential ambition? Is that why not putting the fear in the span of the ruling establishment? It's so something that we need to look at. It's going to be side. I know 2023 the presidential fee will be overcrowded. So we should look watch out for that.
okay. Yeah, that's I think that's very good. And you talk about snow, and snow is like you said, a very good friend of the president George Manuel, and I don't know his connection with the CDC from the past, but snow have been seen around the president for some time, on different occasions. I remember even in 2017 when the president went to Pomi, snow was with him, and sporadically here and there and here and there, snow is always with them. And of course, this is Liberia. This is Liberian politics, and like they usually say in Liberia, um, there is there is no permanent, or there are no permanent enemies or permanent friends in politics. So um, I remember Kekla Poto used to say, one of Liberia's prominent politicians used to say, "You hang your clothes where the sun is," right?
Yeah.
and, and like you said, Paul, rightly, the political season is right, and
Hmm.
Snow has been representative in Bomi County for some time, and then he changed from representative to senator. And so, yeah, he got to balance it. But when Akara's Gray comes out at this point to say that the seat at the ECOWAS court is vacant, yeah, he is right. And it doesn't matter who occupies that seat. But the fact is that the seat is vacant. I mean, this is just my own perception or from my own perspective. The seat is vacant, and so it's up for grab. So anybody,
But
any qualified,
the seat is not vacant. That's
how
the fact. It's not vacant because Snow was elected 2020. So
and
it's in the parliament is 4 years.
2020,
So yeah,
and we in 2028. But
yes. So the
so
seat
so
is
then
not
so
vacant.
now
But what the thing behind it, because when he got into that seat, he was representative,
mhm.
right? So when he was elected as senator, he stayed, and the Air Force Parliament, when you are elected, you're there for 4 years. The only way they give it, or when you remove from office in your place, or he dies, something that would make them to make the seat vacant. But
Yeah,
this
but
guy,
then but now Snow is no more representative.
he's
So
a senator, but the seat he was elected and he's still alive.
but
So
after it goes with it, doesn't it go with I mean that election to that seat, and then the previous position that one held when he was elected to that seat, isn't it attached to that seat? Like if
well,
our janitor.
it's something that one have to look about. Well, what happening here is Snow have been making a lot of headway recent time
Mhm,
because now he's measuring arms with the top group in the West African region. He's traveled here and there. He's on this peace accord every time he with the president of Ghana. He even in about 2 days ago he was in Liberia with people like Jennington, Goodluck Jennington, and top Nigerians people that he talked to the president. I think they see him now as okay.
mhm.
This guy he's getting a lot of weight here, so we need to quiet him down. And Snow being Snow, he always dream a big thing. So I think they realize that no, this guy might be thinking about 2023 as well. Because he's
Yeah,
not
but
a
okay.
citizen, he's an independent person.
Mhm.
So if we get him out of that seat, then that means we'll quiet him down.
But I think probably we need to, on this show, we need to make effort to see if we can get to Senator Snow. Um, um, I don't have his contact. I should have some number for him, but that was years back, so I don't know. But if you know anybody who can get to Senator Snow, probably could host him, and he could be our host and to explain his position. I mean, this is just Akaro's great talking, and
No,
he has not
no,
been in.
they actually plenary wrote a letter. Say it's serious. It mean when plenary write letter, it come from the speaker.
Mhm.
It's not so it's something that they're looking at. So
Okay, but
it's
yeah, but the point I was making is, I think it would be better if we can get Honorable Gray here also, or not Honorable Gray or Honorable Snow, and ask him just to find out what are circumstances surrounding that election to that position, and then how does one, exit that position depending on the situation and stuff like that. But it's good that you brought it up. But again, let's be a little bit hypothetical here. I just want to ask this question. I don't know how much you know about this ECOWAS parliament seat, but when, is it the people that are elected to this parliament, are they recommended by their countries, or I haven't actually gone into that
No,
ECOWAS parliament stuff.
no, the way it works, you have to be member of parliament in your own country,
Okay.
and then your parliamentarian elect you to
Mm-hmm.
have a seat there. Latin Liberia got 5 seats into the ECOWAS parliament. So
Mm-hmm.
he was elected by his colleague to represent Liberia. So he took an oath at ECOWAS, and if you are representing there, you get 4 years to be in office. That after every 4 years, but I think why the question is why now that plenary is rating ECOWAS, uh, telling them the seat is vacant. Is that because no making a lot of headway in Liberia or in the region that he hanging on now with the top guys? Is
Well,
that something that putting fear in the government to say, well, this guy might have an intention of running? Because look at the political setting in Liberia.
uh-huh.
The person, if the person government, look at Mr. Cummings' case in court. We're talking of court. If they see you as threat, they found something on you. Snow
Mm.
seems to kind of be leaning that way. And the guy said, wait a minute, this guy is getting momentum. Remember, Snow is a strong political guru in Liberia. You may like it, you may not like it, he know how to maneuver. So they see him now as, wait a minute, they may hang here with the top guys in West Africa. And they're key decision makers. So think on
but
it
but
carefully.
okay, let's assume let's assume that Snow's momentum is making the government to be jittery. uh is it that easy for them to just move Snow? Because it could be that, I mean, there could be also some laws on the books at the ECOWAS parliament that once you are elected, the time that you are elected for, if you do X, Y, and Z to contravene any of the norms and laws of the ECOWAS parliament, you cannot be easily removed. Probably there must be something
Yeah,
to
but
protect members of that
it's not
parliament.
your police requesting say, oh, your seat is empty. That what the 2 days ago they were all good friends.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's why I'm asking the question. That's why I'm asking the question. That his colleagues from back home, okay, can now begin to say that his seat that he occupies is empty. They have not received any complaint from ECOWAS, So what I'm thinking is that
what they
at
send a
that,
letter, so we wait until Echo respond to the letter. But
yeah,
they
yeah. But while
actually,
we are waiting, we're also brainstorming, right? But
yeah,
yeah, because that's why I'm worried that there must be. I'm not really worried though, but I'm thinking that there must be some kind of protection for members of the parliament. Okay, that I cannot just move Paul because Paul comes from a country and he's representing my country. So I just unilaterally write letter to the whole parliament and say, "We will move Paul." Is empty. I mean, I think countries that are represented on that parliament, all the ECOWAS countries that are represented on that parliament, there must be some rules that protect them also, and that also guide them. But as it stands, like you said, I will agree with you that we wait until the parliament can reply to the letter
yeah.
that plenary
And
sent.
you should also look at this government when
Mm-hmm.
they started with Camino Journey. Who was the person ahead of it?
Yeah, yeah, I can agree.
Carlos Gray. So they start with Snow. Who they push again? Carlos Gray. So there be no
So
smoke
so
without fire.
so is it becoming like, Akaras Gray is the what you call that, the executioner, right? He's the
He's the
one.
one. He's the key executionalist. So when they push in ahead, then he start. Then come later, Tamafala will follow because that's the pattern. That's the group. When they start like that, they have planning. Okay, he's going in front as they talk. He execute, then the group follow.
Okay, but
So
let me trace it this way, Paul. That they will succeed. They may succeed. I mean, we are just putting things into context. Nothing has happened yet, but we are just preempting. We are just aborting things that could happen. So
yeah,
they succeed in removing snow because probably they think that snow is gaining momentum at the ECOWAS and they move in from there. What effect does that have on Snow back home, Snow as a politician back home, where he
they
can
have
relate to his
have
constituent?
no. The thing here is
Uh,
local A.
mhm,
No have made friends with people like Goodluck Jennington,
mhm.
the Kofu, the Ghanaian president.
Yeah.
The whole region, he's all over the place. And remember, ECOWAS too, they have a saying in Liberia when anything comes to election, the situation with election, ECOWAS have a saying, they spend money. So it's not it decide to run when the fee become crowded, and then
Mhm.
somebody said, no, they talk about it, raking election and all that. They have big guns that know people in the region. They have a saying. They can have a saying. And remember to it come also like my good friend, he led to be in the left line. And he's the one to be shoulder with the rest of the guys in airport. Where Snow come from now to be the man hanking out with these big guys? That
Mm.
alone is something that won't have is interesting. It's something that people have to look at. West no in the whole thing. Is he gaining the momentum? Because you remember Ellen Johnson? Ellen Johnson had weight in the region there, and she linked with these people. And now come Mr. Snow linking up with them. What does that mean when it comes to spending money, election? You got friends in the region that can spend, they will spend on you. So all those little things you have to look at it. You see,
Yeah,
the man
yeah,
here with
but the question I would say want to ask,
yeah.
um, if I could see any of the people pushing for Snow's removal or replacement, the question I would want to ask is, what is the motive? And then probably one person will answer me and say the motive is to slow down the pace of Snow at the ECOWAS, his popularity.
Exactly.
Yeah, then the next question I will ask is, if in case Snow is getting popular at ECOWAS, and then his popularity might help to push him politically in Liberia. So why would you want to be attacking him from ECOWAS when you should be trying to either cut his route back home where he have voter? Nobody, if Snow decides to be president, nobody will vote for him to ECOWAS. Okay,
No, no, no,
that
no,
won't.
no. You see what the whole thing here is because there are big names in airports.
Yeah,
You
that
get
could help
it.
Snow.
Yeah, there are big names with big money.
Yeah,
So
but
wait a
me,
minute. So let's stop this guy
uh,
now
uh,
for going to airports meeting regularly. He
uh,
will not be seen with it, although he still have the contact that he, but they're just stopping now because West Snow did they few days he brought in a whole entourage of airport delegate and took them to the executive mansion. And when the people arrived, it was not the foreign minister, it was not the president I want to meet, it was Snow that want to meet these people.
yeah, because he made an arrangement.
Exactly. So now they think it become jittery in the whole thing. But what kind of ground this guy is gaining and he's friend to the
Yeah, but
president?
but but Paul, look at it this way. For me, I
Yeah.
feel that it's foolhardy that anybody who want to go black snow at the ECOWAS Parliament or in the ECOWAS
That
region.
is the question. Why are they
Yeah, it's
renting?
yeah, it's foolhardy because if you want to black snow, you can do like what you doing to Mr. Cummings, put some false charges on him and keep delaying his time. But nobody, the friends that Snow have made at ECOWAS, the people that he have known, nobody can, you can't take them from him and you can't take him from them.
Exactly.
Okay, so
So
why waste your time
we don't know the motive until we get a reply from ECOWAS. So it just show you, do they see him as a threat come 2023? That's the question. Is this guy getting powerful? That's another question.
Yeah,
Because they told him,
if they see him as a threat in 2023, and for which they will want to, cut his link with the parliament per se, but not the individual that he has known. So for me, I think that, like I said, it's foolhardy because I mean, let me put it this way, between you and I say, okay, Paul and I live in Europe there, but Paul has been traveling to all European countries, and he getting popular there. Paul making his personal friends. Okay. But then I want to start Paul and his friends. I don't know how their friendship was built. Okay. Simply because I want to keep Paul down here in the UK that I should
yeah.
grant him. So I'll start going after him outside to connect to all his. For me, it doesn't really make sense because in fact, do they know how how Snow convinced the ECOWAS delegation to come to Liberia? They don't know. So it's too late for them. And then that venture to say they want to even block him from the ECOWAS parliament, and then
Well, they
the
can't
thing that
block him, but they have written. So wait to hear what ECOWAS Parliament say.
yeah,
They have
yeah,
written. The
I
plan.
think, but
Yeah.
I can preempt that that case is going to be, like I said, I sincerely believe that there is some kind of mechanism that can protect the parliamentarians at the ECOWAS
Oh,
parliament.
yes. The thing is, remember, at
Mhm.
some point, there was a rumor going around that, I mean, Snow was going to be picked as the president running mate come 2023 because
Mhm.
they were all up and down in the private jet traveling from one country to another. He was the one. So this guy, he gone quiet for a long time. He's gone quiet. But then the man, all of these little problems that been happening on the west coast of Africa, he had been actually leading the delegates to all of these conflict zones.
Yeah,
So
because
this guy
and, and,
now,
and, and I understand that Snow has some relationship with the chief financial officer at the ECOWAS parliament. So
oh
Snow is well
yeah,
grounded.
exactly. So
The guy's
now
the guy's well grounded.
this guy gone quiet all of the blue. Delegates visiting him in Liberia, and the people that are visiting in Liberia, these are political heavyweight and financier.
Mhm.
That alone, what a meaning. What's this guy intention? With all the heavyweight behind him, is he intent to run? So the people gone back into their book now to look at their laws.
Yeah,
He was elected
but
when he,
let me
wait
look.
a minute, he was
Uh,
elected when he was representative. Now he's
uh,
senator. So let's push the thing forward to Equals Court to say that, say he moved up to another level, that seat now is empty. So he should not be there. It's
okay.
look at the
Yeah,
concept of, yeah, so that
yeah.
could be the reason why they pushing it
Conceptually,
down.
conceptually, it should sound good. If you sit down, you picture it in your mind and draw
Yeah,
that picture, it could sound good. But we don't know. Again, like we said, we don't know what laws are there at the parliament. But
yeah.
let me question you a little bit on the scene issue. What if Snow has been working in the interest of these guys, breaking grounds in their interest at the highest level in and around the ECOWAS region? You think anything like that, anything about his replacement would have come up?
Well, I don't think so because he had been friends of the establishment. I mean, the Rudy establishment. They've been good
Mhm.
friends. And so I don't think that it will come out. I think it's that move by the people he invited to Liberia. That was the one that preempt the whole thing of them say, wait a minute, there might be an empty seat here. Because that alone, it was the people that he brought. And this guy, there were some of them that supported Ellen. So people see, oh, wait a minute. Is he thinking our way?
You know,
So It's just a thought. It's just a thought.
Only
Why are
yes,
they going
it's just
after
a
him
thought.
now?
We just brainstorming. You know, in Liberian politics, there are certain sins that you don't commit. Okay, I mean, Edwin Snow just committed his sin that may haunt him because Mr. Cummings had already committed his sin when he came
Yeah,
and said, "Gentlemen, we can't continue to do the thing the wrong way. Let's do it the wrong way."
yeah.
They said, "Oh,
So
what kind of man you just coming?" No. Let me tell you. Listen carefully to these people when they talk. They always say, "Mr. Cummings, that newcomer, the man just coming. The man king, he wants to change the rule of the game. You see, it's just like the people playing a football game. Then they get one referee who understand the game well, the way they can cheat and thing. Then you
that's
just jump
right.
from where outside. Can you tell the way say, no, my man, you're not refereeing the game good. They say, oh, I'm gonna make this so. So Mr. Cummings committed his sin when he thought that Liberians can do things differently and yield good result, let everybody be satisfied. Then our traditional politicians say, no, this cannot happen. Okay, and then Snow, he thinking that he bringing delegates to kind of meet the president, the government, and now he committing sin. But let's wait and see, like you said, or let's hear from the ECOWAS Parliament the result or their reply to the letter since they made it formal by writing. It's good that I don't think, like I said, Paul, again, like I said, probably there must be some law that protect the parliamentarian. So I don't think this government has the power to just remove Snow like that, or else they would have done it. But in
What?
as much as they are now writing, it means that they do not have that power.
No, 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 no. Maybe I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something is in the Liberia legislature clause that if
Mm-hmm.
you move up to another level,
Mm-hmm.
that your seat that you actually holding in ECOWAS Parliament is all be vacant
Mm-hmm.
for the next representative, not senator. Maybe something is in there that we don't know.
Yeah,
So
that we
they
don't
have
know.
reviewed it and said, look, like, but the question is, they may have been senator over a year now. So why now? After he had brought delegates to the country, that's when he decided to. So that is the question. Why now?
Yeah, but the guy committed sin.
Oh.
You can be in a time. You can be in a time all the time. You be doing all the good thing, but when you do small bad thing,
So they say, oh, wait a minute. But that
yeah,
guy been hanging, been quiet. This guy going deep now. What's going on? Right away, you said, look, let's go in the book and see what's there. So they went in the book and saw something. Said, look, we got a red airport. They cannot sort of be in the place in the first. So what? Why Snow? It's your body. Why go after your body now? Does he
well,
want to be?
let's wait. It's very interesting. Let's wait and hear from the ECOWAS Parliament. But there was something that happened a few days. Our our political giant in Liberia, our political wise man, of late, he has been very interested in women activities. Um, on International Women's Day, he made a short video where he said he stand by women and he stand for their cause and support them in their endeavor to become respectable people. Something which we have never heard from him, even from the time he was vice president. And then, just I think yesterday he made a speech where he was also, you know, portraying himself as a giant in the course of women's activities. Liberia's a strange ground. What's happening? Tell me, Paul. Did he have a dream or did something happen?
No, no, no. What I would say,
Mm-hmm.
we got, I think, 18 months now
Mm-hmm.
left for this election. So everyone is coming out now. And he cannot keep quiet anymore. So he need to come out to show face because everybody say this guy gonna win the thing. Every time they have a pool in some kind of radio station, I think it been calculated. I don't know who all behind it, but the radio station around Monrovia area keep saying he's gonna win it. So maybe somebody advises that, look, it's about time you come out, let people see you because the other people are out there. Remember too, there are other actors that moving around the country.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Chase is moving about. Tiawan Gonglo is moving about. Mr. Cummings is moving about. The current government is making headway in Leeward counties. He cannot be sitting down say, oh, because the poll opinion poll keeps saying he winning, it could be detrimental to him. So he had most the issue in Liberia today is rape, and most time it's women. So he playing the card now, seeking the women's sympathy. That's why he coming out. Election just around the corner, and that's how I see it.
Okay, and tonight we're not going to really be talking that much. We have a very, I don't know whether you have seen this interview um by Mr. Cummings when he was still at Coca-Cola, and the interview is done by Ogako Glenn. I guess he's an American because he's Caucasian. And I saw this interview and I listened to it, and I see it very interesting. And I believe that a lot of Liberians that want to listen to this interview will find it interesting, and they will get to know who the man Alexander Cummings is. I mean, you will be coming to that and still trying to work on that video. When that video is ready, we'll be coming to that. And I think that's what it's a pretty long video. It's over 20 minutes. So it could
Oh
just
wow.
call it could just call the rest of our 1 hour that will be left. Because we usually go like 2 hours on this show or less. But even if we don't play the entire video, we'll play half of it. But I listened to this video, and if you listen to this video, you'll see how Alexander Cummings is respected in the international community, his achievements, and he talks soundly. And because a lot of people do not know people in Liberia. What they do is you were in Liberia recently. People you're listening in the street. A lot of people are educated on the sidewalk. That's all they know. They wake up from their houses in the morning, go in the street, listen, eavesdrop conversations, and from there they pick on one point and they begin to run with it without making their own research, without trying to know. And a case in point is this Laomo Henry Costa. According to him, he did not know JMB personally in 2017. And he jumped and he abuses man. He made him to look demonized him, devastated his whole life, and that's some of the reason why the man lost the election to we are. Okay? Because calling somebody a dead man walking, then the same Costa turns around and comes to tell the Liberian people that I did not know this man personally. If you didn't know the man, why did you go into the man's life and you devastated him? The same thing he's doing to Cummings. He sits on his platform and uses all sorts of words, adjectives, dirty ones on Mr. Cummings, not knowing who this man is. This is a well-respected woman. I mean, Paul, listen to me. I listened to that interview. I went to work early in the morning, and all of a sudden, while I was going through my Facebook stuff, I came across this interview and I took my time to listen to it. And you will know that Mr. Cummings, besides just what people think that he was just working at Coca-Cola, you know that the man is sound. And these are the kind of people that we need in Liberia, in a political arena, because politics is all about management. Okay? You're gonna no listen, if you got your house, you're managing your house. Okay, if you manage your house badly, you'll find out that your wife and your children might leave you. That's why most homes end up in divorce. Okay, and even most homes have crisis, but the crisis management is what keeps the home together. But we'll come to that video if time permits, and because I'm still working on it. But Paul, like you were saying, the political season is around, so a lot of people got to get up and start to go around and 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 start showing faces, like we say, can show face in Liberia. So,
That's
so
right.
yeah, so the old man thought the women are the weakest link, or they are the one need so much sympathy that he will start with them. You are muted, Paul. You are muted. I don't know what happened.
There's
Yeah.
two there are two group of people in Liberia that have the number. If you look at the demarcation, the
Mm-hmm.
youth and the women.
Mm-hmm.
And the women, especially, they tend to vote. They don't sit home. So playing into that, Remember this guy been around Liberian politics for over 50 years. He been his
Mhm.
whole hands in the game. So he's not new to it. He wait for the time, the moment to strike. And he's coming out, the group he start with the women. It's calculated. Politics is about calculation, and you tend to play in the hands. So who he tend to he start with the women.
But
And
but
that's why
yeah,
now he's
but
coming out.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, I can also tell you that a lot of people have been playing around the women too. So coming on late and thinking that you can score on late goal. Well,
No,
that's
no,
that's
no.
very
It's not.
risky.
It's not about scoring or let go because he been scoring all the goal lately. Every time they have a opinion pool, he wins.
I listened to
And
I
everybody
listened
say
to
he is already resolved that he will be. So
yeah,
probably
but I
they
listened
coming.
I listened to some political commentator somewhere, or well-informed political commentator somewhere, and something he said was that uh Joseph Nimabwaka loves to be comforted. He's almost Lebwaka. I mean, or we are. He loves to hear what people tell him. So since they have already grown his hair, that oh yes, you are the man, you are the guru. No, even Wiasa cannot beat you. So every poll they make tell me that even on Wia's own FM station that Joe Bwaka will win. Is that
Well,
realistic?
well, I don't know about what I heard from people in Liberia.
Uh,
The government did a very clever calculation, and it was
mm-hmm,
a political strategy they came up with.
mm-hmm,
This man does not have the resources to move about.
mm-hmm,
So, and everybody, and when they were targeting the CPP, that he was the front runner. Well, you remember what the time came, this man will be the number one, Cummings be number two. You remember a few months ago. So
mm-hmm,
they said, okay, to limit him, the government sponsored 12 radio stations in Liberia.
mm-hmm,
And all of those radio stations, including GMB French radio station, when they have a
mm-hmm.
poll, people will call, say, yeah, this man, this man. So, in a way, they corner him. He's comfortable sitting now quietly that he's winning. So, while sitting now, the government been doing the groundwork in those leeward area, including his own county. Remember, the government told solar light in his county
Mm-hmm.
to sell themselves. Why he said about he keep winning the polls. He's not moving around making his case. So he keep winning. So even today he have a poll in Liberia, he will win. So it's good that he keep quiet, comfortable. But then that Kesa is in his territory gaining momentum. You get the one on the other side. So people have pinch said, no, I think they poll here. I don't think it's a true thing that happened because the government station, oh, you winning poll, you had to wake up. So maybe that was getting him out.
and you know somebody commented here. They say when he's reading, his hand shaking, and he's reading from the paper. He's not reading from his heart. But we can't determine whether the reading that he's doing is from the heart or
But
just from the lips. But
my man, when you read nearly 100 years old, you holding cup of tea, your hand will be shaking. So if I
nobody,
easy,
no, the old man. You know what the old man said? The old man said, "No, people think age that anything age is just a number." So he
my
stayed
man,
in denial. He stayed
yeah,
in
age
denial
is
of
a
the age.
number. But I'll tell you, my age someday I get on my foot locked. So it tell you that active men who play football regularly, at some point you can't do it anymore.
Yeah,
That
but
is
the
the
woman,
truth.
you see, when people talk about desperation, they say Mr. Cummings is desperate. This is my definition now of desperation. That this woman is this woman could be older than my father, okay? And if he can still be running behind president job, which I know is a very hectic job, president job, which I know is very demanding. You got to stay also nights and make real decisions. You got to make the ultimate take the ultimate gamble of staying up, make some decisions, write, proofread things that people will bring to you, and then he might if ever he hosts office, he might just be end up being one of the person that say, "You're just do it." I agree to your Sunday. I agree to your son. No, I don't get time for that people. You're just
So,
Sunday. That kind of.
if I don't think we shouldn't dwell on him because I don't think this guy he have the energy, the time. Because remember,
Mm,
few years ago,
mm,
2017, he was he had that energy. He was energetic enough.
mm-hmm,
It was an election basis that he had problem that he had to go get pacemaker. Now, where you have a lot of young people, I mean young comparing to him that have
mm,
energy. You get that one very young, he aggressive, he moving. You get that okay, I say you get Cummings, you get the Josh Weir. These are people that will move. So if then you were the incumbent, you have all the state resources to use, and you have problem with your heart. Now when you don't have state resources to use, and you get the energetic people around you that have money, the cassette got little cash, Cummings got little cash, Joe Weir got cash, you name it. And these guys, and then Edwin Snow come into the picture too with his own cash. No, he can make it. And that's the bottom line of the whole thing. That's how I see it. So I wouldn't dwell on him. The government of Liberia, I think that should be the focus. What they're doing, what have they done? What the promises they made to the people, that their pro agenda they came up with, they lay out the kind of jobs they were supposed to create, the kind of infrastructure they were supposed to bring in. I learned at some point they were supposed to do this kind of flyover from the new ministerial complex that they have around Congo Town. All of the big things, Bali Island, the kind of thing they're going to do, all the promises that they made. If the government
no,
now,
no,
people
no,
of the
no,
look
no,
man,
no,
forget
no,
about
no,
the
no, no,
old
no,
man that
maybe,
wouldn't
maybe,
be gone.
yeah, maybe you're getting it wrong. The
No,
citizens have always said CDC will go 24 years. So the first 6 years was for them to loot. The second 6 year that they are seeking is for them to start making plan. Then the third 6 year, they start a plan to start constructing the Bali Island, the flyover, and all the projects.
already.
Then the last 6 years, remember now, 6 and 4, 24, right? So
Yeah.
they got 4 6 years. So they just gone the first one. The first one was to loot, which they all had
Oh,
done.
okay, then that's what make it good. Send it going for the next 6 year. Let's talk
Mhm.
about the looting. Let's talk about the looting because if I was living in Jarlatham 5 years ago, now I'm living on 24th Street in a glass building. Let's talk about that. How did I get that money to build glass building? Let's yeah, have a conversation on that.
Yeah, but they are saying they will tell you that they've been working for 6 years. They will tell you that.
And what's the salary?
Oh, well, they do take pay, though.
Yeah, they take pay. So what's
Uh-huh.
the salary?
Yeah.
Then we'll calculate. If it now the thing is, you
Mhm.
can be on decent with like 16,000 a year. Time that 16,000 for
Mhm.
12 months, which is not 16,000 they getting. What
Mhm.
are that 2,000 they getting more? You time me by what the 12 month, you know how
Mhm.
much it got. Apart from that, if that money able to build a glass building that worth $1.5 million out of that salary, then we need
Yeah,
to
but
know
they will tell you say they got other amenities on the side.
what you it's easy to calculate it immediately because you getting free, you get free car, you get free gas slip. That's the and they give free security with all that, and you don't have a budget to run on to say, oh, I'll run your 2 million budget. And now you live in a glass building, like you then we need to find out how.
Yeah,
And
so who will
that's
find
where
out?
the
Because
that we need to
yeah,
drive the
who will find out?
conversation.
Because the integrity institutions that we should be having, like the LRA, the LACC, they're all uh, appointed by government. Okay, and I believe that when the president appoints these people, they owe loyalty to the president. I mean, how country like Liberia, nobody wants to lose his job. So because you want to be one patriot that want to see the betterment of Liberia for everybody, and then you risk your job, you risk your life. See, we had three. I mean, we have five or four auditors killed Okay, I mean, nobody can tell me that those people were not killed. Okay, they were killed. Who killed them? I don't know, but they were killed. That's the scene. The scene of their deaths will tell any logical human mind that there was a foul play. Now, and why only the auditors? Why not somebody so goes in the street who don't even have place to sleep, who live outside? Why not them, but the auditors that die in that manner? So you see, the integrity institutions that should be holding these people responsible are all appointed by the president. Okay, and they dance to the tune of his music. Okay, they live up to the whims and caprices of what he thinks. So it becomes impossible. It's still a joke in Liberia that you have integrity institutions that should be auditing the very government that will appoint a. It cannot happen. I mean, Paul, trust me, I don't know how possible is that.
The institution
Mm,
in a normal government, they are
mm.
independent, although they're appointed by the president. But those institutions supposed to be independent.
My friend, there can be
Yes.
no independence. There can
Well,
be no
well, that's the
independence. Yeah, there can be no independence, you know, to the point where you you who work for the person that appointed you, you have to bring a person to public ridicule. It's not possible. How will you
no,
do that?
it's possible. I can tell you that honor adding it happened. You see, like that's what adding government manage. You can appoint somebody, but those institutions, you cannot just sack them. You can appoint, but you can't sack. So they had to tenure for 6 years. That means they have an independent mind. So the person you're bringing in is not because you appoint them, they're going to say yes or to you. No, they become an independent body, although you appoint them. So yes, look at the how they call it PPCC, where we had double Jala. Jala ran our place independently. Eddie, he could not take yes or from Eddie, although you appointed by Eddie. So it just tells you. So because they broke the rules of laws, that's why people were appointed into the post. Now they're going like, okay, we can't say we can't do anything. And you rather say like the missing, the death of those editors, that alone put fear in a lot of people. So they can't be independent. The guys are breaking the rules of laws.
Yeah. So you see, you come back to the same point I was making that there can be no total independence in the instance where the president appoints you. And first and foremost, the president can dismiss you, you'll be out of job. Secondly, the power that be can do something, can set you up, let the in the instance of the four auditors rather. Okay, anything can happen to you. You see, especially in a country where when something happens to you, people will talk about it one day, then it finish.
That's
So
true.
I still feel that the idea of even appointing, the president appointing people in such position is still a joke, especially in our country. They should be independent and protected. You see, I think like the ECOWAS saying, saying we let the international community business every sport in Liberia, international community. We know that the international community get their own problems. But if ECOWAS as a body, because when anything happens that I think people will run to, if the ECOWAS could come in and say, okay, look, listen, we will appoint the independent party. Okay, and even
No,
if
no,
possible, bring people.
you
Huh?
can't do that. This conference of sovereignty country, they can't do that. So what
No,
what happened? What look?
no, listen,
It
the
just
whole bullshit. Sorry for that word, but the whole nonsense about sovereignty. What is sovereignty when you are not
well
sovereign?
that if somebody appointed people in your country, that means you don't have it.
Yeah, but then
Simple. So
why do we go to the simple to go beg? When anything happens, we go to them to cancel our problem.
listen,
Yeah.
that's why we need a change in Liberia. Then we start begging, and that's the bottom line of the whole thing. In Liberia, you don't need to beg. And when we keep saying to people that the whole government structure, they have to change it. So that means when we talk about power sharing, you see, which they refuse to do for many years. What do I mean? You go to Ghana, you go to Nigeria, even Sierra Leone, our next door neighbor, Guinea, where you don't have one person appointing 5,000 people to work for he or her. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So let's take Nigeria for example. They have the governance system in Nigeria. Liberia have a county system. Those counties in Liberia, their superintendent supposed to be elected by the people. And then what does that bring? It brings competition within a county. So if you vie for that post and I'm running, because our county is almost like a president for a county.
Yeah.
You see? So they fight, they put the best person in. That county owner, superintendent, who in Nigeria they call it governor. That governor will, when this county development funds that they gave to each county, that person will better manage it and bring something, or that elected superintendent can come with innovation, how to create money, to generate money in his own county. You see, instead of people begging. So, for example, Maryland County, they good at sugar canes, and sugar cane it grow in Maryland more than anywhere else in Liberia. So what can sugarcane do? It create sugar. So if they innovative enough, you grow a lot of plant, a lot of sugarcane, you have sugar. Maryland start become the county that produce sugar and start selling sugar and bring money to Maryland. What Lofa County, rest. Lofa and Bond County, rest, can grow easily there. Nima County, banana planting grow easily. So when the competition between these counties start coming in place, you don't need to beg anyone for money. So just take Liberians to do it themselves. So you need people who have innovation to come in and say, no, we need a decentralized power. And you see how that country will flourish with a lot of good things. That's
and
all.
and and it's like you just went into my mind. This is something that I've been thinking about all the time to advocate. And if I were ever to go in the House of Representatives or Senate, this is my first project that I will spend all my time on. That superintendents of the counties be elected. And I got three main reasons added to what you just said. First and foremost, accountability to the people of the county will be ensured. Secondly, there will be competition, like you said. People will feel the sense of commitment that I have to do this. If I don't do it, I don't have a job the next round.
Yeah.
And thirdly, there will be respect for the citizens of the county from the superintendent. And the citizens of the county will also respect the superintendent. And you know why I mentioned those three reasons. Number one, I start from the latter, which is respect for the citizens of the county. Like you mentioned earlier, the governor or the superintendent of the county is like the president of that
Yeah.
county. Now,
Yeah.
if there's man in whose hands the county is resting, if he's not from a particular county, he will not care for the people. If he's appointed by the president, all of his loyalty will be what? To the
For the
president.
president. Yeah.
The county people cannot do anything to him. Now, he will not respect the people. And when he doesn't respect the people, what will happen? The people too will not respect him. Equal share, right?
Yeah.
Then the next one, the second that I mentioned, which is commitment, thinking that I will not have a job the next round.
Yeah.
If you mess up, they elect you district and you mess up, what happened? You think the people are going to take you next time?
No,
No.
they'll put
Ask the
somebody
stupid.
else.
Yeah, go and ask the representatives and the senators what can happen to them. Then the first reason where accountability will be important. And because this man is appointed by the president, all of his loyalty to the president, only the president can move him, the country people cannot do anything to him. So they gave him the money for development. He will use all the money. When the people talk, he say, you can't do anything to me. Before they even talk, because of course, we got in Liberia, we got bureaucracy, right? So before the Yabawolo from way in a village can go see the president, the superintendent will be the first to see the president because what? The superintendent and the president are connected. Is the president that appointed him. So he has access to the to the president very fast. Then wow, all the citizens of the country, you see it. So if you let these people, there will be a lot of improvement in every country because the first thing competition will be among the counties.
That's
People will be
right.
telling, oh, look at Grand Pastor, look at Maryland, look at Sano, look at Nima. You see, but in the absence of that, where you appoint people, I remember 1980 after the coup, they were appointed Hezekiah Bone as superintendent of where
The people soup.
Grand Kevin Kante.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the people stood out balance. They say from Lofa to Bong.
The people soup.
He
Yeah.
said, he said, he said, let the drum beat, let the people be dance. Let the food be cold, let the people be eat, and let the drum be beat, and let the people be dance. Look at that people. You know, you miss March. Once you miss March, you take me, carry me to Grand G there. I don't speak Crown. I don't know anywhere in Grand G there. I got no connection. Okay? If I should have connection to any country, it would be Bon Country, Grand Basso, or Nima, where I got roots. But you came into Grand G there. I would not even care for the people. And for them knowing that the president appointed me, the people can't do anything to me. When they're talking, I don't even get time for them. See, so this is level. Always say, you know, putting the round peg, the square peg in the round hole. You know, so yeah. So I think like you said, we, we should actually I've been thinking about this. We
No,
should
that,
we should
that 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 is one of the key solutions to Liberia. Liberia is so rich. Liberia got
mhm.
money. And there's a lot of simple things that we can do in Liberia that will generate money. Look, you live in Norway. Norway, they're just simple things they put together made them so rich. Why you think can happen
my,
in England here? England
my
got
brother,
nothing.
the
Listen,
case with the case with Norway said, yeah, to finish. I will come to the case with Norway.
yes, England that live in, they got nothing. But the way they built the system, when you decentralize power, you find competition, you find means of generating money, and you become stronger. Now, I gave something here. In England, right in London, parking gave the government trillions of pounds every year for just parking. You every borough you live in, that's their means of income. So the street you park your car on, you get traffic warning going around giving you ticket just for parking. They make huge money. Just a parking alone. Now the house you live in, everybody have to pay council tax. And it depends on the size of your house. If you don't pay that, you go to prison for 6 months. So you see how they generate money.
It's good that I was student. So
No, that's what I'm saying. You see how they generate money?
yeah.
All sort of way.
and,
And I
and,
tell you, they divided London into zones from zone
mhm.
1 to zone 6. So if you're in zone 1, your transportation is high. You see what I
that,
mean?
that people
They
for
find
zero.
means to squeeze penny other people. So when you decentralize power, the person in Maryland will say, look, let's introduce parking in the center of Harper. For every car that drive into Harper Town Center, they pay $1. That's free money for Maryland Council.
Mm-hmm.
That money will go towards schools, hospital, fire service, and police. That's why I go to decentralized power.
And when you talk about the decentralization of power and raising funds, look at Norway. Basically, my brother, I used to work at a hotel. the amount of food that the people throw away at the hotel, man, that food can feed the whole of Monrovia one day. I mean, just one day food that they can throw away. We had like 3 containers, one only for trash, but the rest for the remains of food. That one day I saw the guys, my man, they counter, I think 3 or 4 of them, they counter, whole counter, it been in the fridge for I think more than I don't know how many months. So they said the expiration did not come.
You know, throw away.
My man, they get a counter. So I stood up for long and the guy got some one thing. They said, we're throwing away. I said, eh? Then I thought about poor people who suffering in Liberia, who have not had anything to eat for the day. Then another one I saw, the other counter, when they cut it to cook it, they cut it piece, and cook it, they throw all the flesh away, that is soup, that water they will take and mix it with soup for that potato. I say, yeah. So this is how much food they can throw away. And my man, we do not grow anything here in Norway. If somebody tell you to grow anything in Norway, that potato, which is not everywhere, just somewhere like around where I live and on the west coast, because they got different weather a little bit. The winter is not too intense, and then they grow strawberries, which comes in the summer. Yeah. Then they got somewhere where they grew some apple, and then some bitter apple that they made with juice. Okay. But everything we eat here, down to banana, it comes from Costa Rica, Brazil, and all the places. To the point where the banana will remain green. They call it because it will take a long time before it reaches. When peeling the banana, just tearing one chin, yeah. Like you know where when you eat plum, you throw a seed, it will grow. But then we're not really we lazy and the first thing. But Paul, the video I was talking about Mr. Cummings, I think we've discussed a lot, about Liberian politics. But let's see whether we can get this video, and we hope the video can cooperate with us. But it's an interview that was conducted by one Glenn. I didn't get his first name.
Okay.
With Mr. Cummings, and they basically
before you play the video, let me make a quick announcement.
Yeah.
If those who are following all, they can also follow all on Facebook and then on Bottoline radio station, and we'll have our webpage that you can follow all on. And some of this interview will be relayed in few hours on our radio station. So just want to put that out there.
It's already operating, right?
The radio station is operating. So will be something that I was on it. I come on every Wednesday, and so the schedule of that radio station I may be coming on every other day.
I will check it up.
Yeah,
I will check it up and probably see one little slot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but like we said, like I said, the interview was done by one, I guess, American, that women. So that women, and he talked basically about Mr. Cummings's professional life, how he all started and how he excelled. So I hope this will agree with us. Let me search for it, and I hope it will not bring any problem. But hopefully it will not bring any problem. Let me search and see where I can find it. And if you listen to for those of you Liberians who will be listening to this interview, I will ask that you take your own time to listen to it and listen to it well.
In Liberia, what that experience was for you.
Yeah, it was actually quite exciting. At the time when I grew up, in relative terms, Liberia was doing well in the context of Africa. And I was fortunate to grow up in a middle-class family, so I had wonderful elementary education, high school education, lots of friends, very large extended family. So it was wonderful. I was blessed and fortunate to have grown up in Liberia when I did.
How and when did you decide to leave and do something different?
After high school, decided to go to the United States for college education. At the time, University of Liberia was actually quite a good school, but my parents could afford it and thought the experience and exposure of living and going to school in a different country would be good for me. And so I applied and got accepted, and I went to the U.S. to study finance and economics.
At that time, did you have a sense or believe that you might return someday and try to do good works in Africa and help the continent?
Absolutely.
What was your thought behind that?
Yeah, the intent was always to go home and work. Growing up, I guess perhaps most young people, I wanted to be a doctor at one point and an engineer, and then I wanted to go into politics, and my parents said politics in Africa, and they didn't encourage it. But I always thought I'd go home and work and contribute and be with friends and family, etc. And that was the intent. In fact, after undergraduate school, Glenn, I actually returned home and worked for 2 years in the bank, Liberian Bank for Development Investment, and then came for graduate school, and then the military took over Liberia. Things got a bit disabled, and then I decided to stay on in the States.
As we fast forward now to your responsibilities at Coke, your portfolio is very diverse. I mean, you have legal resources, global community connections, strategic planning, infotech, et cetera, et cetera. It's a real broad scope of a position. How many people do you oversee with this?
The core group in the corporate center that I have responsibility for is about 1,800 people. And then globally, that number is about close to 3,000 within the corporation. So quite a few people. To put that number in some context, we have on what we call our core concentrate business, because we own some bottlers as well, Glenn. We have roughly close to 20,000 people globally. And so about 3,000 of those people work in the functions I have responsibility for.
Being a very diverse group of people that you oversee, what challenges do you face in a management sense?
A few. One is to find the common thread that links everything we do together. And for me, that thread is around making sure we are functionally competent. So we want to have the best lawyers, the best human resources people, the best IT talent. We want to make sure we have a service and solutions orientation to the business, so that rather than being experts for being experts' sake, we actually taking that expertise and applying to the needs of the business, and again, providing solutions to help drive and grow the business. And so there's this challenge of making sure our people understand our business, they understand how what they do helps support the enterprise, and they're doing things every day that help us drive profitable growth of the enterprise. And so the challenge of doing that keeps me busy.
Is it the old adage, you don't have to be good yourself, you just have to hire good people?
Absolutely.
Sort of?
I usually joke that I come to work and kind of walk down the hall and make sure all the folks, key people who work for me are there, and then I shut the door and read the newspaper.
Okay. Finding that common thread, how difficult is that when you're, again, going over through so many portfolios, so many different parts of the business?
Yeah. Well, there were two challenges for me, because one, I came from the operating side of the business into a staff, sort of a services organization. And the challenge there was just finding the rhythm of how the center worked versus the operating piece. And I think now, after the first 6 months, I was able to figure that out. So that was a personal challenge. And then the challenge, again, is getting everybody to understand their role in the portfolio, how what they do helps support the business, how what they do helps enable our bottling partners or our colleagues in the operating side of the business. And so that continues to be the challenge, to make sure we understand how what we do in legal affects what happens in human resources or in accounting or in IT, how it affects our colleagues in the field. And there's an ongoing challenge to make sure those connections are there. And the enterprise is not just working within the functions, but is working across the functions in a seamless way.
You said a very interesting phrase that I've never heard before, and that is finding the rhythm of the center. Is that a common phrase that you use? Or tell me about that and how you find that center.
Well, it's oftentimes people in most corporations, you may know this, Clem, is there's always a natural tension between the field, folks in the operating units, and the people in the center. And part of why I was asked to take on this role was to try to bridge that gap and to try to bring a better sense in the center of how we can support the field, as opposed to being empires unto ourselves, if you will. And the reality is, we can bring the two pieces together much closer than they are today, but by definition it's going to be different. The rhythms are different. The people in the center tend to be more medium to long-term focused, as they should be. People in the field tend to be more focused on the next quarter, the next month, as they should be. So while there's a natural bridge that says we're all working towards driving shareholder value. The rhythms of the decisions you make, when you make them, the impact it has is actually different. And so for me personally, it was just adjusting to the different rhythms of, from the operating side where volume, monthly volume, profit, market share, product quality, etc., to where, in a sense, there's a bit more medium term. It's a bit more creating the processes, the environment that enables the operating guys to be successful at what they do, guys and girls to be successful at what they do.
This multi-headed animal that you have to now control or wrestle with or find the natural tension, as you mentioned. Did you learn those skills when in university or post-university, or is that on-the-job training?
It's on-the-job training, really. It's from experience. It's from getting your fingers burned. It's about being practical, about learning. And what school does for you, education, is it helps you think. So good education helps you to think, ask questions, to help you create frameworks, help you create processes. But it's all, at the end of the day, is on-the-job training. And so any success I've had so far, it has only been about 18 months in this role, it's all because of the experience and what you learn on the job and the mistakes you make and the successes you had that enables you to manage this sort of multi-headed monster, if you will.
So giving advice to students who, at INSEAD or other graduate programs who may be studying, or even newly promoted workers in a company that might be facing some of the same challenges, how do you suggest they navigate those waters?
First of all, I would say early on in your career, it's got to be all about learning. And the more experiences you get early on, the better prepared you'd be to lead an organization. And so oftentimes students focus on new people coming into organization, focus on getting promoted vertically. And that's important. That's not unimportant. But I encourage people early on to learn, to be willing to take horizontal moves, to be willing to move geographically, to get different experience in different geographies. And so my success, if I could be a bit immodest, has been because I've focused on learning. I try not to look too far ahead in terms of next career move. I do look ahead, but I don't spend too much time doing that. I focus on the current role and doing the best I can in the current role, and I focus on continuously learning, even today. And so I encourage people in school who are looking to go back into the workforce to spend time learning, take horizontal moves, move geographically, go into different functions, and learn the total enterprise. Understand the business you work for, how it actually makes money, how it generates economic value, and then bring your skills to help to enhance that.
Japanese companies for decades have famously started people at the lowest part of the company and then moved them around, not just up, but around the company. Do you think that model needs to be embraced more often? Are people today too focused on climbing straight up the corporate ladder?
I do. I do believe people, and you can move across functions and or stay within a particular function and still get very broad experience within a particular function. So if you're in finance, for example, you can spend some time in treasury, you can spend some time in tax, you can spend some time on the cost accounting side, for example, and so on and so forth. And so again, I do endorse the Japanese model of making sure people get broad experiences before they get promoted. Not to dismiss the fact that getting promoted is important as well, because it's a measure of success. But early on, I think learn. And that's the biggest message I would give to students at NCI.
So coming back to a management style, would you say you have a particular type of style? And if so, what is it?
I think my style is one of humility, one of a knowledge of that I don't know it all and I don't pretend to. My style is principle-based, and I believe you have to lead and manage based on some set principles. You have to have conviction about what you're doing and what you want to do. I believe in people. There are two types of people in this world, I think. And then it's not good or bad, it's just different. There's some people who come to relationships, who come to situations where you have to earn their trust. They come with a sense of skepticism, and so Glenn, you have to earn my trust. There's another set of people, I think, who come and trust you from day one, and you have to lose their trust. And I'm in the latter. I come trusting people instinctively, and they have to lose their trust. And so my style is to embrace people, to engage people. I don't micromanage. At least I don't think I do. And it's all about enabling and empowering your people to be the best they can be. And then everybody gets the credit for it, for the success.
You joined Coca-Cola in '97, I think. What changes have you seen in the corporate culture since that time? You've worked in a variety of different roles in different countries. What have you seen change?
Well, when I joined Coca-Cola was at a transition stage, because right after I joined, we lost a very famous, successful chairman and CEO, Roberto Quezada, and we had two chairmen and CEOs in between for very short tenures. And so we went through a troubled period. We have some challenges with our bottling partners. As you know, we're a franchise system. And so it was a very difficult period between 97 when I joined until about 2003, 2004. Since 2004, we have turned the business around. Our relationships with our bottlers are a lot better than they were today. We are back focused on winning. And so we describe today having a winning culture. We believe in ourselves. We believe in the enterprise. We believe in what we do. We're much more connected to communities where we work and do business. So a very positive swing in the culture and the attitude, in doing some things that we did pre-97 before I joined that we sort of forgot, we sort of lost our way. And those things about people, about community, about optimism, about believing in ourselves, believing in the products and categories we sell. We sort of lost that for a while, and now we've gotten that back.
How do you bring those basic qualities back? Sometimes those are tough ones to reinstill after they've been lost.
It's all about leadership. It's all about the leaders recognizing the qualities that will make the enterprise successful, and then embracing the organization to embrace those values, embrace the culture, living by example, rewarding people for the right behaviors. Those are all the things that you do, and it doesn't happen overnight. But you do those things, you reward people, you encourage them, you walk the talk, and the culture comes back. And then have some success in the marketplace. There's nothing like having marketplace success, having the investment community recognize that and appreciation in your stock price. All of that reinforces that the things you're doing are the right things to do to drive the business.
You've done very well for yourself in this company. I was looking at one of your tax filings that's readily available online. You're a wealthy man, I think you could say, or you've done extremely. Are you an embodiment of an American success story?
I am. You know, I often say the United States is the best country in the world. It's got challenges and issues and problems, and everybody knows what those are. But frankly, I'm not sure there's any other country in the world where a person from Liberia, and there are many stories like this in the U.S., as you know, could go to the United States and do as well as I've done. And so I've been very fortunate, very blessed to have had the opportunities I've had. And only in the U.S., I think I could have gotten those opportunities. And Coca-Cola is a very diverse corporation. We're in over 200 countries in the world. I believe our leadership, I don't know this empirically, but I'm pretty sure our leadership is perhaps the most diverse of any corporation in the world. Our chairman and CEO is Turkish. The head of our bottling investment group is Irish. The head of Asia Pacific is Colombian. Head of Latin America is Mexican. Head of Europe is French. I'm an African. And we have a few Americans we throw in there, our CFO, our chief head of marketing. But a truly diverse organization that embraces diversity. And so I think Coke is also unique in a way in terms of the diversity of the employee base.
If you don't mind, let's talk a little bit more about Africa. You're a big supporter of Africa causes, notably AfriCare. Do you see enough African or African American executives trying to support and promote the continent in a way that is really useful and progressive?
Not enough. I would say there's clearly some African organization that does that. African American Institute, that I'm also on, or was on the board, does that. So there's a lot of good work happening with African Americans and Africans trying to help the continent. But we can always do more. We can always do better. And I would say perhaps there's an opportunity to do more than is happening today. But you also have to understand that African Americans have challenges as well that they have to address domestically. And so it makes it perhaps difficult to support Africa as much as I would like to see that happen. And the same is true for Africans. The continent is challenged, but can we do more? Absolutely. Should we do more? Yes.
And I don't mean to put it in racial terms because it's a problem that I think everyone can contribute to. The reason I mention it in that sort of wording is just because there are so many African Americans and Africans who have done extremely well in a corporate sense globally, not just in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And many of them do take time to support causes.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it seems like the problems in Africa still remain from generation to generation.
Yeah. But I don't think it's because Africans perhaps are not giving back enough. They are not. And there's an opportunity to teach people about philanthropy, both African Americans, I think, and Africans. Again, the U.S. is unique in that sense, where philanthropy is so well ingrained, if you will, even the tax system supports giving. That's not true in the rest of the world, perhaps a bit more so in Europe, I think. But the rest of the world, not so much so. But I think the promise of Africa, at the end of the day, Africa's problems is about leadership in Africa. And until Africans demand the sort of leadership they need to fix their problems, we will have the continuous issues you suggest, Glenn. So we can look to the rest of the world to fix our problems in Africa. Yes, they can help. Yes, perhaps they should help. But Africans got to say, you know what, we're not going to make excuses for ourselves. We're going to tackle the problems and we're going to solve the problems. You know, when I went to Nigeria, running our co-business in Nigeria, one of the things I said to the team, I said, look, infrastructure is tough. Power, water, all of these things. And I said, look, but that's our reality. It was that way last year. It's that way today. And unfortunately, it'll be that way next year. So we got to adapt. We got to do what we need to do in the context of this environment. And unless people take that attitude, Africans take that attitude, the continent will never move ahead. So we need to own changing Africa. And until we do, can't depend on the West to do that for us.
Well, with so many sought-after natural resources on the continent and so many, let's say, less than honorable forces at work within the continent, how do people truly break through that? And how do you make a sea change of in economy, in culture, lifestyle? It just seems like so many of the problems are insurmountable.
They're very difficult, but there are examples, and again, it comes back to leadership. And there are examples in Africa of countries that are doing relatively well compared to the rest. Botswana, Uganda, Tanzania, Mali, Senegal, and you could find fault with every one of those models or their leaders because they're not perfect. But they're all making progress. South Africa, go in the right direction. Again, you can find tons of fault, just as you can with the U.S. So the fact is, there are examples of countries that are moving in the right direction, that are making progress, albeit more slowly than we'd like. And there are no silver bullets. There's no easy answer. But it can happen. But it's about leadership. It's about getting 3, 4, 5 key people in every country, and you can change it. It's true in corporations. Corporations that are in trouble. If you get the right, that's why CEOs get paid so much money, because they make bad calls, and you know the repercussions, the dominant impact is huge. And similarly, when they make right decisions, but you get the right leader, who get the few right people in the right positions, and in time you can change countries, you can change enterprises, and that's what Africa needs, is right leadership.
As you look externally, trying to help or make a difference internally, what can Coke and other multinationals, really do to encourage an active business environment without getting sucked into the local or the national problems of countries, whether it's corruption, degradation of natural resources, making the gap larger in poverty, and how can companies isn't it a tricky equation to get involved?
Not really. Something I'm proud to say, Coke does a relatively good job in this area, in almost every geography in the world. And speaking in Africa specifically, we've done a compared to most multinational, a relatively good job of giving back, whether it is through our Cook Africa Foundation, whether it is encouraging employee volunteerism across the continent. We actually focus on giving back on sustainability across the world because our enterprise, our business is only as good as the communities where we live and work and where we sell our product. And we actually believe it's a virtuous circle. You engage the community, you help the community, you help empower the community as you create wealth for the community, the buy more Coke, fantastic, right, heaven and earth, etc., etc. Can we do more? Yes. Can other multinationals do more? Yes. But I think increasingly multinationals are realizing that they have to play a role in helping to solve the problems of the world. And this trifecta of business, government, and civil society working together, I think, is the key to solving the world's problems. Easier said than done. Not enough progress being made, but there's a recognition, I think, today that those three pieces have to work if we're going to move the world ahead. And Coke is very actively engaged around the world in working with a bunch of NGOs to actually bring help and support Haiti. Company is very engaged with the Red Cross, providing water directly to victims. And the system just almost galvanizes instinctively to help. But beyond catastrophes on an ongoing basis, we think it's a key part of our success.
Alex Cummings, thank you very much for being with us
Thank
today.
you. Great to be here.
Well, I don't know if Paul is still around. Yes, Paul, great that you stay there. First, let me make a disclaimer. This is not our work, our interview. No, this interview was conducted by one Glenn. And in this video, Mr. Cummings did mention the name Coca-Cola several times. And so we do not intend to promote Coca-Cola on this platform in any way possible. But the reason we selected to play this video is that Mr. Cummings at the time did this interview when he was working with Coca-Cola. But now he's in a presidential race for his country, which happens to be my country, Liberia. And so we just try to throw light on his leadership style when he served Coca-Cola in a very high position and what he did, his success, how the entity that he worked for benefited from his leadership style. And so we just wanted to make that one clear. We are not promoting Coca-Cola in any way possible on this platform. So Facebook do not black us for that. And the name Coca-Cola came intermittently simply because, he was in that position at the time. The man who was being interviewed, Mr. Cummings, was in that position at the time when this interview was done. That's why. But Paul, I don't know if you took any cues from what Mr. Cummings said in the interview, but I took a couple of them. But the most important one that I looked at was when the guy asked him about help that African countries continue to get, uh, especially from outside, and it seems that the more they receive help, their problem cannot be solved. That problem continues. And Mr. Cummings' reply to that, among other things, he said that the problem with Africa is their leadership, bad leadership. If they can have good leaders, they will not be going around begging. Uh, um, does that tell you anything about our own Liberia?
Well, Linford, remember I was talking about decentralization of power.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I was talking about. Leadership lead from the top. They lead and it trickle down. When you have a vision, you present a vision, this is where you get that are taking everything from me, but let me give it to the grassroots. They will run the affair of the country. You see? And that's what he's saying, leadership. And everybody benefit. and that's what he's saying. And it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy from the start of the interview, the guy also asked him, "Oh, you came to America, like he gave his short biography where he grew up in like a very modest middle class home where all of us grew up in, like me and you. You know, I mean, we'll talk about our Liberian middle class in a sense is parents who were forced to send you to school, right? Not
Mm-hmm,
like some of our
mm-hmm.
friends whose parents cannot send them to school, and they have to end up making farms or selling time or those. But at least our parents were able to pay that small money that they had to the school, and they say go, and they could pay our way. We could buy books, we could wear sneakers, we could wear our flare day clothes and new uniform for flare day. So that's our sense of middle class. And
Yeah.
he came from that background to rise up to where he was. And the guy asked him, was it at any time in your life that you thought after succeeding that you would return to your country and work? And he said yes, that had always been my dream. The question here is, how many people will always want to think that way? Like, I'm here in Norway and put it the Liberian way, God open my way, I start to earn hundreds and thousands of dollars every month, and all of a sudden I become millionaire. Then I look at the condition in Liberia. Uh, do you think a lot of people want to go back, very easily like that, like he did?
The thing is, he might have a serious love for Liberia
Hmm.
and to put himself because he at that age he just getting into his what retirement age now, where
Hmm.
he can just fly everywhere in the world and just have fun with his family, his children, his grandchildren. The love of a country, that's what driving him. And he might think about this, Linford. He might have been laughed at his workmate. And those like I work in a corporate role for 21 years. And at times I was even embarrassed to say I'm from Liberia.
Hmm.
So he in that position. Why don't you go home and help your country? I think he had been advised from his workmate that God has blessed you with the kind of knowledge you have. I think that's what have driven him to change Liberia. And he loved the country that a lot of Liberians richer than him. They don't even bother. But you think only he really loved that country to put himself through all of this. Now the court granted him today that he can travel to go see a sick mom. After the court, Serena Sifa ran to the higher court and they put injunction on him. He can't travel to see her mom.
So that's the latest development in the
That's the
case.
latest development.
Okay, and I think we're getting there. We're getting there small. First, the court denied him of going, and now the court had
No,
allowed
the
him to
court
go.
accepted him going, but then
Uh,
the Solicitor General ran to the higher court
mhm.
and for the higher court to put injunction on him so he can't travel.
Okay, but like we normally say in Liberia, that's cartoon. For now, it is a case, but gradually it's going to turn into a cartoon. And
Yeah.
everybody knows that the motive of this case is to hurt Mr. Cummins's activities. You remember that Mr. Cummins is just besides the newcomers, but all of the people that took part in the elections in 2017. Mr. Cummins was the only person right after elections. He began to work. He began to visit everywhere in the counties, right? So
Yeah.
uh, our friends in the other corner, when they were still relaxing, but when they saw that Mr. Cummins was building momentum, they had to find something on him. Like Edwin Snow, come back to the same Edwin Snow thing again. Like Edwin
Mhm.
Snow, all along Edwin Snow have been in Liberia. Nobody can say can lead a position. The man became senator all over almost 1 year now. Then all of a sudden they say the position vacant. When did they know that? But again, like you said, probably because he brought the ECOWAS delegation, and people feel that he's moving ahead of his age. So, but in any case, like I always say, something must kill a man. So in that instance, uh, at least they try to slow down his progress by reaching him, or by putting all these four charges against him. But
Yeah,
the state didn't make headway because since the case got to court, the man still going around the country, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and even if he's stopping from seeing his sick mom, that was making a difference or a lot. But now, I mean, thank
The
God
mom
that
is in the States.
yeah, thank God that they have lifted the and then they have or they have agreed that he can travel. He will now not pay anyway. So
No, they agreed for him to travel. Then
mhm.
later the change they say he can't.
So he's not going to. He will not go.
He not go.
Oh, okay, I understand now. Okay, well, technology have made it easier. He can use Facebook, Messenger, Zoom, anything to see his mom, to talk to her. You know, so but
But man,
I think our
the
time is
thing
fast
is,
spent.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, she's about 96 years old. So it's not like
Oh,
all of the people. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
let run her up.
yeah. Our time is fast spent. I don't know if there's anything that you want to say, or let's talk about the radio station a little bit. So you say that people can follow the radio station and listen
Yeah,
to.
it's Deep Bottom Line. You can get it on the website as well. Deep Bottom Line Liberia. That's the radio station will come out. You can play. It's 24/7 around. It's now it's on. So when I come on later on, you hear me on it. It's
Mhm.
24/7 rolling.
Okay, so
So
so all they need to do is to click on that link and then they get in
yeah. Deep Bottom
Liberia.
Line Liberia. Yeah, it's a radio
Mhm.
station. You can get it
Okay,
online. You
okay.
can follow us on our Facebook page, the same, and then you follow on our website, dborderline.liberia.com.
Yeah, and to the listeners or to the viewers, there is no way you can lose in this situation because if you click on the bottom line, if you don't go to that radio station, you end up right here on this show, on this platform. Okay, so I think it was because the moment and once you click, you I'll go to our YouTube channel on the bottom line
Yep.
like or so it's not boring. Click on it and you will enter the radio station or you enter our platform here or you enter YouTube. And as we're talking now, we are streaming live on YouTube. Well, Paul, I let us say thank you for tonight.
Yeah.
And normally and I even supposed to tell you thank you because you are one of the hosts on the show. So it is our duty to be here. We need to tell our viewers thank you. And we sorry that we came on late earlier this evening is because of some engagements which we could not just beat. And secondly, we also apologize that our full team was not here. Let me tell you one thing: this business that we are in is not easy to go to work, come from work, and then you have to do some other small things. Then you have to come here and sit there for 2 hours. It's not easy. So sometimes we get tangled. But again, this is commitment. This is something that we have committed to do. So I don't regret doing it. I don't think Paul regret either. And so to have a hard working team member like Paul, I'm very much excited. And let me just confess here to Paul and to our viewers. Sometimes when I'm tired and Paul will call me, Paul, my man, what happening? I say, no, we're coming on. So it's not an easy task. We work hard behind the scene to bring you the information. And like we said, you can go to Bottom Line Liberia, the Bottom Line Liberia, and on the net, just search us and click. If you don't land on this platform, you will land in a YouTube. Or if you're not there, you're going to go to that radio station and
Yeah.
listen to
Yeah.
some of the information that we provide. We know that we cannot assemble everybody at the same time, but at your convenient and leisure time, you can catch us and follow some of what we say. So again, Paul, I say thank you,
You're
and
welcome,
we
brother.
hope to be here on Monday. And
On
Paul is doing
Tuesday.
a great job on
Yeah.
that radio stuff. So you can follow Paul there and make sure that I be here on Tuesday rather. With will be coming your way with a fresh edition of the program. Ciao.
Ciao, brother.